You coming on, mate. I really, really do. Viewers, we're going to go to some of your super chats in a moment. I'm going to go to Sunshine as well. And do you know what? It's so interesting. Our performance away at the Etihad, away at Liverpool, and away at Arsenal today. It shows that there is quality in this team. And I see some people online saying we got lucky today and everything else. Look, there's always a little bit of luck involved if you want to look at it from that point of view. But you don't look at it from the perspective of, as a United fan. The hard work we put in those 3 games, if we work that hard in some of those defeats we've had under Amorim, we're winning those games too. Hard work is the bedrock of any team. And there was a few moments in the first half where you guys had the ball and attacked, caught us in possession. We got back in shape really quickly. And I'm sitting there smiling. My daughter said to me, "What are you smiling at, Daddy?" I went, "I've just been waiting for a Man United team for 11 years to do that on a regular basis." Just simple and basic stuff. Because I've not even really, I've of course spoke about it. I've never really cared about the pattern of play stuff too deeply. I want it, but not deeply, because until you've got those basics right, the other stuff's ridiculous. I'm not going to look for a flat screen TV when the foundations of my house haven't been made. You've got to do it later on down the line. I also want to shout out today because, of course, Xerxes deserves a lot of praise. Good cameo performance, penalty, Bayern there in goal, Maguire, the lip for their blocks. I do want to say again, 2 games running, Bruno Fernandes, overall, phenomenal. There, of course, there's a few times there's a time we booted the ball in the second half of extra time. I was like, why the fuck did you do that? Right? I don't remember that. There's been a few moments like that, but I thought his performance was great again. His goal was absolutely out of this world. What a finish. And for years, doesn't do it in big games, doesn't do it in big games, doesn't do it in big games. That's 3 big games in the space of a month. Away at City, away at Liverpool, and of course away at Arsenal, where he has not just got himself goals or assists, but he has put in top-level performances. And look, maybe there's not a long-term future with him in this system, and I'm up for that conversation. But in terms of today, that's what I want to see from a Manchester United captain. I really, really do. So well done to him. I'm going to come to you in a second, Sunshine. I just want to go through some of these super chats here. To Terry and the Man United crew on the panel, big up. This is why I said winning trophies gets you through games like Arsenal don't have that yet. It is true. If they had a few more FA Cups or League Cups in this last 5 years, there'd probably be less frustration from fans. So I hear you on that, Kyle. The way Kai Havertz shoots, he might want to check if his baby is his. I thought he'd be saying rude then. Once it's born, as soon as, go get a DNA test. Glorified Stoke settings, but fair play to Dio, admitting the ref was on their side. Nailed it on the head. Owners are afraid to risk it. Same with Arteta. Try to play safe, not going for it. And there is some truth to that. A lot of people have called that out recently. And it's what makes the conversation hard, because I think some gooners want to, I've got to stand by Arteta because I backed him in that debate 3 years ago, 5 years ago, however long it was. But you can see that he's not game by game instructing his team to play the same way. Doesn't mean you were wrong for supporting him 3 years ago. Things change. Like, this is what I don't understand about football fans. Everybody's so desperate. Oh God, I need to make sure all the opinions I put out there publicly, I'm right on. Well, it doesn't really matter. The situations and the world change. Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Arsenal fan in streams are the reason why Arsenal are and will be the banter club. Every transfer in the end was approved by Arteta. Blame Arteta. Yes, I think listen, he's not said no to them and they've given them to him. Are they his top choice? Are they his 5th choice? Are they his 10th choice? And I'm just throwing that out there. I don't think it's as... I get your point, and he certainly deserves criticism. But I think what we have to do is have an intelligent conversation, and it isn't just Arteta's fault, Spaniard bad, and you move on. I think there's more nuance to it, but I get your sentiment. That's why Chelsea, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich got the most major trophies, because they instantly sack managers when there's no success. The delusional Arsenal fans deserve shit. As a United fan, I'll gladly sit here for an hour just to listen to this Arsenal meltdown. Wonderful is what Sam Ritchie says. In seasons like this, Chelsea sack and bring in Di Matteo and Tuchel and won the Champions League. Perfect example as to why you should sack a manager when your team is crap. Mark here says you can't be 700 million deep and then it's all about Saka is injured. Why are you not firing? You're quickly becoming Spurs under Poch. Do you think there's some truth in that, Nathan, do you feel like you're becoming a bit like that? I know you won the FA Cup year one, but do you sort of feel like you may be becoming a bit like that, almost like you've missed your opportunity maybe to win the major trophies?
I think the similarity between us and Tottenham is that when we got to the precipice of like reaching trophies, we failed to invest, and I think that's what happened with Tottenham, right? They were nearlies, and they failed to build on that and spend. And you can sit here and talk about 700 million deep and all that, but clubs are all spending money, so it's almost like a redundant point in terms of bringing up what the manager's spend is. But the reality is that for you to almost win a title and spend 80 million and not really bring in one first team player or one player that improves the starting 11 is negligent from the owners. And you can bring in a next manager, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. But then again, the same thing will remain, right? You bring in a new manager, if the owners and the people in charge, the sporting directors, are failing with recruitment, that new manager is also going to have the same issues because they're not going to get the same target. So,
and I agree. I think that's why. Yeah, I agree. That's why it isn't just a one issue thing for me. For me, looking at your situation, I think there's got to be a wider conversation. Just football. To answer your question, Igal has said on streamed recently that he said yes, sack him if no trophies. He's now said no context needs to be applied. So he has changed his mind on that one. A few signings. United will be really strong next year. I've been really impressed the last 2 games. I don't know. I'd love to understand your definition of really strong. But yes, look, you start adding, you add a player or 2 this window, 3 or 4 in the summer, and keep doing that for 2 or 3 years. This Amorim has demonstrated he's a tactician, as well as he doesn't just have a rigid system that never changes. All of these pundits that have said he just got to like yield on his principles. No, you maintain the principles. But the way we approached today's game was very different to how we approached the Liverpool game. It's different to how we approached the City game. There were some similarities. I love that he doesn't go into every game wanting to play the exact same way, the defensive line in the same position, inverting and overlapping with the fullbacks and all these different little nuances to the games. It's brilliant to see. This is from The Perfect Match. Thank you, Kate. He says, Arsenal fans needed this. Arsenal fans deserve this. I know what and where my team is. Some Arsenal fans think, like Matt, think they are world beaters, is what Kate says here. For the kids' tell from me and the missus. Listen, I appreciate that, Anthony. Yeah, the kids are they weren't buzzing about the game. They've just been to their grandparents' house and got new fancy dress costumes, and they love a bit of fancy dress. So, yeah, I appreciate that. I really, really do. Thanks, mate. I am Georgian, raised up with Kvaratskhelia and his brother. I asked him about joining Arsenal, and he said no way he would join it, either Liverpool or Chelsea. Wow. Kvaratskhelia, can you get him on the show, please, bruv? That'd be a good interview for the Terrace. Thank you. The squad is severely unbalanced and lacks competition for places, except for a left back, where we have like 5 players that are all out injured. We have no moment players besides Saka in this team. No cojones is back. Gentlemen, Arsenal was the second best team last year. Please don't sack Arteta. He was not just prepared to play 12 versus 10 today, and it's the FA Cup ball. Yeah, the different ball today. We need new owners, a new manager, better signings. Whole club needs a refresh, is what Alfie Salter thinks here. Arsenal fans watching, do you really think you need a complete club overhaul again? Let us know. This is not the first game where Arsenal haven't taken their chances. So it's on the manager. Listen, I think there's a combination of all those things that are true. I mean, maybe not specifically this game in some people's eyes, but you can't look at this season and say none of it is on him. And I think that's why you need to have intelligent conversations amongst your fan base. This Arteta worshippers and High Priest Igal and Robbie, are you using year calendars to worship Arteta or the season itself? Arteta in forever is what's been said by Biku. I think that's how you pronounce it. Thank you. This goalie is a better version of David De Gea. No joke. Just train. I will say this: from when he saved the penalty onwards, he looked confident. So I'm just hoping. What I'm hoping is that his bad performances, Bayender, have been because he was nervous. But from that penalty save onwards, he looked like a different human being. So yeah, he did very well after that penalty save. Not to mention the fact that Arsenal took 3 minutes to take each set piece. It does take them a long time to take it. But I think they do that to create the anxiety. I really do think it's a method for that. Respect to Arsenal fan, bottom left for staying. Yeah, thank you, Nath. Thank you. Klopp, 850 million for the whole 10 years, 7 cups. Arteta, 500 million, 800 million, sorry, in 8 years. And Amorim buys the correct players, not like Arteta. United will flourish faster than Arsenal. I hope you're right. Sunshine, before the end of the show, obviously want to get your take on United today. Obviously a proud day, I think, for Man United fans.
100%, man. Wow, what a chunk load of crap I've just heard off a load of Arsenal fans. I patiently waited. I was so biting my lip to say something, but you know what? Let them just be in the same situation that we've been in for a long time, Terry. Look, there's some serious topics that I think we could dive into, especially from the Arsenal bunch, just kind of relate to stuff that Man United were going through. But Man United first and foremost. I think we said after the City game, I'm not going to get too giddy or gassed. I want to see a certain mentality being consistent moving forward. It's all right to have these performances. Bruno summed up perfectly in his interview at the end. He said, these are big games when you play Man City, Liverpool, but we need it against Southampton. He said the next game, Southampton straight away. Wasn't too gassed in the moment. These are the type of mentalities that I need at Manchester United. I'm not saying every rival fan's going to understand when I speak and say this, because simply as a Man United fan, I understand success. I've had the absolute pleasure in my own personal life to sit next to world beaters in my sport and talk to world champions, Olympic champions. I have conversations surrounding what a mentality looks like and how to apply your talent and have that mentality. There's certain things you have to say to yourself under pressure. Performing under pressure is a mentality thing. That's what separates the great from the goats. That's just a fact. So I'm looking at the mentality every single time of this team. And like I said to you last season, we were creating chances. Had nothing to do with style and system, but we weren't putting the ball in the back of the net. And when you don't do that, you create a level of pressure. Now, there's one thing playing for Man United under Sir Alex Ferguson being pressure. There's another thing being the next team after Fergie, after 11 years, to try and bring back those glory days. That's another pressure in itself. There's no wonder when players come and put a Man United jersey on, they all of a sudden look crap because they haven't got the mentality. This is why I rated Diallo from time, because I saw that grit within him. It's tunnel vision. I'm a bad boy. Martinez, no different. Bruno, no different. These are the mentalities you need at your club. These are winning mentalities. Whether you win or not is a different conversation, but it is the foundation for winning. This is why Man United are different than Arsenal, because we have been in our worst situation ever, yet we still managed to bring home trophies. That is what success is labeled as. Your club, before we were even born, started. And success was based on every single trophy they put in that cabinet. That's why you get called a big club. You get the privilege to be saying you're world beaters, you're world's best known club because you bring trophies. That is it. That is the measurement of success. Arsenal, 6 years, whatever it is, 700 mil, one major trophy, FA Cup, is it? Arteta, in my genuine, honest opinion, does not have the mentality to come through and inspire these guys to get over the line. You can talk about quality all you want. I do agree. Quality is most definitely something you need as an athlete, as a sports person, in pressured moments. But applying that quality in those moments is different. Making that subconscious, making it a part of your ability is another thing. And you have to perform under pressure when the chips are down. Arsenal do not do it. No matter which manager, what player you put out there, you never, ever do it. And for your manager to come out, Arsenal's manager to come out, start talking about footballs, acting as if Newcastle play with a different football, says everything about his mentality. And you're telling me those players listening to that gross when you're in a title challenge, they're hearing that and not taking any effect from it. You're telling that's not going to play in their subconscious when they're on the pitch, while they're moving the ball so. It creates fear. Once you create fear, that's going to absolutely spread into your team at one point. And when the pressure gets too much, you're going to fold. So that's all I have to say about Arsenal and Arteta. I don't really care, to be fair. Keep him in. I really don't care. I'll be honest. It's not my team. I'm a Man United fan. And today,
no, I sorry, mate. I hear you on the mentality stuff from both sides. I think that it's such an important part of the conversation. And listen, I'm not digging any United fans out that for years said we just need better quality. We need better quality. We need better quality. I've always felt they were not ahead of the game, but they were a stage. They were talking about a stage that comes after that. And we've signed loads of quality players in the last 11 years. There's a reason none of it's worked, because we've never been adding them into the right environment, and the environment and the culture and the mentality. I loved what happened last week at Liverpool. We won, and the manager's like, I'm paraphrasing, of course, I'm pissed off.
Absolutely.
I've watched how hard they've worked today. And if they'd done that in all their other matches, we wouldn't be 14th in the league. You could even argue if they worked that hard all season, he wouldn't even be here. And that for me is, I love that, because that's why we played well today. And I think the players are listening. And it's very
100%.
early. And I'm not getting carried away. And we need to keep doing this. But there are some really positive green shoots of positivity here. However, feet on the floor. We cannot take our foot off the necks of the owners in terms of investment and getting the club back to where we want to be. And the Southampton game, I'm actually so excited about this game. The first time I felt really excited about a game all season. Can't wait for it. It's going to be an absolutely interesting one indeed.